think I can maximize it. So, okay. This should be going up fairly soon. So let's see. Stickers. Awesome. Mine hasn't popped up yet. Oh, here we are. Cool. Okay, so we're up, and we're going to give it a few minutes.
Get a few more viewers.
Yeah. All right, we've got 3 of us here, or 3 watching, 3 here, so that's cool. Even numbers so far. Let's see. All right, there's a few more joining us. We're just going to wait till there's a couple more people. That way nobody misses anything, and then we'll begin. So. The beginning is always the most awkward part. Okay.
Well, it's 11:30.
Yep. So we'll give it a little bit more. Should we start?
Let's start.
All right. So hello and welcome back to another Facebook Live in the Wilson County News Break Room. We're coming to you today on Friday, June 19th, which is widely celebrated as Juneteenth. So if you didn't know, this was the day in 1865 that the news of the Emancipation Proclamation finally reached the people of Texas. And so this actually happened 2 years after Abraham Lincoln had signed the proclamation that freed the slaves on September 22nd, 1862. So this was before the internet, of course, and it took a little bit longer for the news to get around the world, as you could tell. So, happy Juneteenth, and thank you for joining us. So, for those of you who haven't watched one of our videos yet, I'm Julia Weaver. I'm usually the host.
And I'm Kristen Weaver with Wilson County News.
And we're joined by a special guest today, Mr. Kenny from Red Wing Shoes. And we'd also like to thank our sponsor, Sun Junkies Tanning. So they're pretty cool, and I think we're going to partner with them in some upcoming, well, we're going to keep it a surprise,
Right.
but
There may be a surprise coming,
Yeah.
so definitely tune into Facebook Live. Might have some contests and other things going on.
stay tuned
So.
that way by keeping up with our website regularly, by looking at our app, Go Wilson, and
Wilson County News.
yeah,
Check the paper.
check the paper.
We'll be announcing it very soon.
Yes. And we're also running stuff, always, updates on our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, kind of here and there. And, oh yeah, the emails. Those are also something that you can stay updated on and through. So, yes, thank you for joining us. And so let's get right into this interview. So Kenny, you are the owner of Red Wing Shoes on Southwest Military.
Right.
All right. So can you tell us a little bit about the history of the store?
My family owned a family department store in downtown San Antonio that was actually right next to the courthouse. And in fact, it's where the Bexar County Justice Center sits today. That dates back to 1892.
Wow.
They were, I believe, the first Red Wing shoe dealer in San Antonio. Red Wing Shoe Company's been around since 1905. I do remember as a little kid they did carry Red Wings, so I believe when Red Wing Shoe Company decided to put a store here in San Antonio, thank goodness they came to us first.
Yeah.
And our store opened in March of 1969. We were the first Red Wing shoe store in South Texas, and we've been in the same family, same location since coming up on 52 years.
That's pretty amazing. Dang. And so you've been a faithful advertiser with the Wilson County News since 2004.
That's what y'all were telling me.
Yeah, at the very least, because that's as far back as our electronic records go.
Right.
So, for all we know, you could have been advertising with us before then. So that's pretty cool. And so, since you are an advertiser, and you have this contest going on in the paper, do you and Kristen, do you want to talk about your photo contest?
Well, it's not photo contest,
Sorry.
but it's a reader contest.
Reader contest,
Yes,
yeah.
and you can access the contest every week. There's new questions that Kenny comes up with. You can get to it at wilsoncountynews.com/redwing. So go on there. This week the theme was about flip-flops, and yes, so Kenny's on the show today because he, like Julia said, has gone back so many years with us, and he's been a big supporter of the community through the paper and his advertising. So, yeah, we really look forward to the different ads that you run and your creativity and all the support that you do give the community.
Well, I have secret sources for a lot of that information.
Oh, great. Cool. Well, one of our watchers, Elaine Kaloji, would like to know the address of your store.
It's 1413 Southwest Military Drive, which, if you're coming from here going up 37, we're roughly 5 miles west of 37 on Military. If you're coming from 35, we're about a mile east of Interstate 35.
All right, thank you. So, if you haven't noticed, we've got this rather large picture frame here, and it shows when Kenny in Red Wing Shoes was featured in the South Texas Living section in 2015. And if you couldn't see, he's holding a guitar. So, Kenny, why don't you tell us about your music career?
Well, I saw the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, and depending on who you ask, my life was either enhanced or ruined. Literally the next day, I told I was 8 years old, and I told my mom I wanted to play the drums. And she says, "No, bands always rehearse at the drummer's house. I'm not having that noise over here. I'll buy you a guitar." So I started off as a guitar player, and when I was around maybe 25, 30, I was out of the house, obviously, by then. And a couple of friends of mine, we were putting a band together and couldn't find a drummer. I said, "Well, I'll do it till we find somebody else." And I've been playing drums ever since. I still play guitar also, but depending on the band, I've played. At one time, I was in 2 different bands. One I played drums in, one I played guitar in.
Wow. So how many bands have you been in?
Maybe all total, from starting maybe in middle school, probably 10.
Wow.
I was in one band for 20 years.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was 2 guys, one I've known since elementary school, the other one since middle school. We're still great friends. And, like I said, that band lasted 20 years. It changed a little bit as far as types of music over time, but lasted 20 years. And, they're kind of still going. I was just, at the time I was playing drums with that band and wanted to start playing guitar again. And this was during the 9/11 thing, that kind of era, and we did a lot of private corporate stuff. That business just kind of fell out.
Yeah.
So I was getting bored and looking for something different, so I left them and started playing guitar in another band.
Wow.
And so, is drums your favorite instrument?
Well,
drums, or?
I think I'm better at it than guitar. It's not my favorite at the end of the night when I got to tear all this stuff down and load it back in my car.
I get that.
You can relate.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy both. And just, whichever I can do.
Awesome. So what's your favorite genre to play?
I was raised on British invasion music, and like I said, from the Beatles and all that stuff. And then one of the guys in that long-lasting band, I think it was 1972, the 2 of us happened to see Asleep at the Wheel on Austin City Limits. And we were just like dumbfounded. And so shortly after that, we put a big Western swing band together.
Yeah.
A 9-piece band, had 2 horn players, fiddle, did the whole thing.
Wow.
Had a chance to open up for Sleep at the Wheel at Great Hall one time back in the early 70s.
That's amazing.
And that band was probably together 5 or 6 years. And just, there's not much that I don't like. Put it that way.
All right.
And then I've done everything from 50s and 60s rock thing to country to some 80s stuff. A little bit.
Awesome. Okay.
Well, I know we enjoyed hearing you when we had you in Floresville. What year was that?
Oh my gosh. Maybe
Like
3 or 4 years ago.
it might have been my
2016.
freshman year. I think it was 2016.
2016
Yeah.
is what I'm wanting to say. That was really enjoyable. You guys did a great job. So.
Oh yeah.
And you said you're working on earlier in our conversations. You were
Right.
talking about kind of a new band.
With most of those same guys, and we just kind of gotten started when the COVID thing hit, so we got we couldn't rehearse anymore for a while, and just maybe about a month ago, kind of started getting back together.
That's
So
awesome.
hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be up and running, and there'll be places to play.
Well, we certainly hope so. So I'd love to hear it.
So this is cute. Elaine posted a comment that you don't look like the country western type.
Yeah,
So I have a question. How long have you had your hair this way? That's your style.
high school.
Wow. You kept it that long? I mean,
Well, not
that length of time.
that
Oh,
picture.
that's true.
Yeah.
Had a couple people convince me to cut it, and I cut it then, and haven't really cut it since then.
Pretty
Wow.
cool. It's a good look.
Yeah, you rock it.
Well, I figure at my age, if I cut it, it may not grow back. So,
Yeah. I do have to ask, out of curiosity, did you ever rock the man bun look?
no,
Alright.
never will.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
It's like a trash bag.
For those that can pull it off, though, good for you. But
To each his own, but it just,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. We'll just let that go.
alright. Well, I think that's all of the questions that I had. Kristen, do you want to ask me anything else?
Can't think of anything, but whoever's watching, if you have any feedback, please feel free to share it. Any questions for Kenny, and
Yeah.
as we move along, we can come back to it.
I know earlier we talked about why I started advertising with you guys. We have a lot of customers from down this area, and that's the main reason.
Yeah.
And it was relatively inexpensive, and just have always enjoyed the people that work here.
Awesome.
Pam and I talk at least once a week, and make each other laugh.
Yeah, we're always talking about
She's
you.
like,
Oh,
Yeah. You have the great ads. No, you're a blast to work with.
For sure.
Yeah, and that is a very convenient location. And I've been to your store; it's really nice. So,
Yeah, we were really lucky because Red Wing, they've got protected trade areas, so to speak, and where they put that store, it was almost impossible for anybody else to put a store on the south side, and it kind of still is really. The Brook City base area, possibly somebody could open up a store down there, but there's really no other place, so we kind of we're really lucky, and we've got from Highway 90 all the way down around back up to Highway 90, so we've got the whole south side of San Antonio, so to speak, a lot of the east and west side. Whereas on the north of Highway 90, there's a store in 604 Calabria, one on San Pedro, and one over on Walton Road. So San Antonio, that side of is all covered up,
Yeah.
and we have it kind of all to ourselves.
Very good. Yeah, knock on wood for sure. Well, so speaking of you being a faithful advertiser, we might as well just hop on into the paper preview, and I'm sure we'll come across some of your ads in here, as we usually do.
Pump them out.
Yeah. So I can go ahead and hold up the paper because you've got a whole bunch of stuff. But on the front page, I did want to point out this lovely.
Oh, y'all can say this was vodka. No.
Oh my gosh. You wish. No. But we do have this lovely little brief on the Marchman Lab that occurred last Saturday in Stockdale, I believe. And we had a very big article about the Stockdale community fighting for their coach. Their head coach was going to be demoted, and they want him to stay as the head coach. So apparently he was a very good coach. And we have, of course, an update on the pandemic, COVID-19. So those are some things you can read about on the front page this week. And on page 2A, in the same section, we've got a lot of plans from Floresville ISD about reopening for the school year and needing parental and student feedback. So if you're a student or family whose student attends FISD, you should definitely read that so that you're informed and you know what's going on. FISD also had a meeting, or is planning a meeting to talk about their tax rates and budgets and all that. So that's also something that people in the school district should definitely keep up with. And businesses can expect more aid from the city. They met, and I think they're moving forward with $100,000 that are going to be split between businesses and reopening applications. At least that's what I got from reading it, but I did read over it rather quickly.
Read the headline, so
Yeah,
and go look for it.
definitely look for that.
What's
And-
the headline?
Oh, it's businesses can expect more aid. And we've got the city pursuing a new grant to put computers in police vehicles. So that's interesting. That's right below the business one. And on the next page, we had information about the Floresville Fire Department, which recently merged with ESD 5. So that was interesting. And, of course, our America's Heroes, one of my personal favorites. We've got 2 heroes featured in this week's America's Heroes section on page 3A, and that was Daniel Price and Cole Thomas. So definitely read about them. And the next page we have the Stockdale News. I'll just hold this up. It's this little section. I believe it's another monthly one that we do, just like the Livernia and the Cove page. So we've got Little Italy, the restaurant in Stockdale. They're trying to change alcoholic beverage laws, and they need community support. So definitely catch up on that info and help them out. Read that article to get more information from or about that. And on the next page, our most beloved editorial section, we had a lot of letters to the editor. So thank you to those who contributed. We love getting your letters. And thank you to all of our writers for the editorial section itself with their columns. And for those of you that like reading Elaine Kaloji's column, hers will be returning soon.
Next week.
Yeah, next week. And 2 pages later on 7A, we have the meeting watch. So there was Poth ISD meetings, Poth City Council, Wilson County Memorial Hospital District, and ESD 4, and Livernia City Council. Oh, and Stockdale ISD. So lots of news. And I believe we put all of those up on our YouTube channel as well. So you can either read the briefs in our meeting watch section or check out youtube.com/Wilson County News and find them there so you can watch the whole video for yourself. And, oh yes, of course, we have a lot of Father's Day ads on this page as well, because Father's Day is this Sunday. So if you're looking for some Father's Day gifts, check out Red Wing Shoes for sure, and also check out C Street Gift Shop. And then, of course, check out any of these wonderful advertisers like Pollock Sausage Farm, Walmart, White Lightning Liquor, Livernia Country Store, Whitty's Barbecue and Catering, HEB, Farmers Gin Co., and that last one is us, C Street Gift Shop. Where was I? Oh no. Let's see. Other things that I wanted to point out. I'm all lost. But we're way past that. Okay. Oh yeah. We're in the world of Wilson County. So, if you've been watching, you've known about our We're in the World of Wilson County photo contest. We had 16 photos of places all across Wilson County, and your job was to try to identify them. So we actually ran the answers in the paper this week, so you can go see if your answers were right. And we'll be announcing winners pretty soon, so stay on the lookout for that. And then next was the South Texas Living section. We had this beautiful story about Abner Posey. Yeah. So his son, Randy Posey, found a bunch of his journals and letters and whatnot. He never knew that his dad was a hero. So that was really cool to read about.
It's a beautiful story.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, our contribution from Julia Castro, her article was really cute this week about watching commercials. She actually measured the amount of time that the commercials took up during her shows. So, thank you, Ms. Castro. And then we've got our TV guide on 2B as always, and on 3B, we've got the South Texas Photo Contest 2020 winners, as well as a whole bunch of events that are going on, and a special birthday announcement. If you want to find out whose birthday it was, you're going to have to go read that for yourself. But you should also definitely consider sending in your birthday, wedding, anniversary announcements so that we can put them in the paper. And then we have this awesome story about this soccer camp on 4B that you should definitely read. It was very fun to talk to Miss Gracie, who put that story together. My office is right next to hers, so I heard a lot of the chit-chat that had to do with this. It was very interesting to put together. And then the next page has both honor rolls, so we've got from 6th through 12th grade, and letting you know that fall SAT registration is open for students, which is definitely a big thing. Uh-oh, it says we're having trouble playing this video. I wonder if it stopped.
Okay, well, let's keep.
Just keep going, or
No.
is it showing up?
Well, because it's a delay on what I see. So.
Oh, no, it looks like it's still going. Okay, technical difficulties, but kind of not. Okay. But anyways, as always, we have our giant Kid Scoop section. Very colorful and bright and fun. So that's also awesome. And then in our classifieds, I do know that one of your ads is in the classified sections right here
There we are.
on the front. So a chance to win $500. You should definitely take that opportunity. I just lost my words.
Go
right there.
enter the contest now, wilsoncountynews.com/redwing to
Oh,
win a
yeah.
$500 gift certificate.
And then, as always, we have our, agriculture and outdoors section, where you can read advice and information from John Jefferson, Calvin Finch, and Texas Parks and Wildlife, and also learn about Texas license registration, how it's moving online, and I think some offices are opening. So definitely important stuff for those of you that need your fishing license.
And don't forget the gardening column.
Yeah, I mentioned that, Calvin
Oh,
Finch.
sorry.
And then we also had a column on the front about home organization, so that can be helpful for those of you that are doing a little bit of late spring cleaning, aka summer cleaning.
Do you have a favorite section in the paper?
No, I'm one of these guys that I'll get a newspaper and I love to sit at my kitchen table with my Sunday paper. I don't like to look at it online.
Yeah.
Kitchen table with a cup of coffee and I'll go through the entire paper. I may not read everything in there,
Right.
but I
Just page
go
by
through
page.
every page. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. I like to do that.
Most kids today will never understand the joy of that.
I know, it's kind of saddening to me. But
First,
that's-
because the paper gets thinner and thinner every week,
yeah.
and I guess probably in the not too distant future, it won't be read.
Well, there have been some people that say that the newer generations are going to be the revival of paper media. So that's we're hoping.
You're feeling it, huh? Well, that's good.
Let's see if we have any comments.
And just to show you, I don't know, can't tell.
They'd like a close-up of the picture of Kenny, so I'll just move it closer to the camera a little bit. I hope it's on screen because I can't see it. It's kind of delayed.
We'll see it in a minute.
Yeah. So that's a close-up of the feature that Elaine asked for. And
I would also mention, just a reminder that about the online directories, the online guides that we have, wilsoncountynews.com. We have there's a shopping guide, a restaurant guide, and a personal services guide. These are all there for the businesses as they were coming back after lockdown and some different things. We'll soon be bringing a real estate page, so be watching for that. And we're also working really hard to put together the comeback section. So every business, we want to include every single business. It's free to your business to be included in this section. You can go online and look for COVID-19 updates, and from there you can get to the comeback section of any of these that I just listed. But be sure to do that and be watching for it. So we'll bring that to you towards the end of summer, mid to end of summer.
yeah, and we're very excited about that. Very excited. And is that all that you had?
Yeah.
Alright, that's all that I had too. And that wraps it up. I guess that's about it. So again, thank you for joining us here in the Wilson County News Break Room for another Facebook Live. And also, again, happy Juneteenth. And we hope that you had a great time watching. We also hope that you go check out our sponsor, Sun Junkies. Thank you, Sun Junkies, for sponsoring this video. And we'll see you next time. Ending it is always really awkward.